So we are discussing about text view and button. Just we added that here in this, right? So just let me open that project. Yeah, here just we added the text view and button. Then after once we run that one, just we are changing the text. But after that, finally what we did, we removed here the text view. Right, we removed here text view. Again we run, and after that once we click on the button, the text is displaying, but that space we are not utilizing. Right, we are not utilizing the space. So if you want to utilize that space also, so there are certain properties are there. So if I want to utilize that space, here I'll apply one property called visibility gone. So initially, while loading this particular page, so while loading this particular page, the text could not be loaded into this. Means that will be empty. Like how now the view is displaying similar, like it will be there. So that we can modify. Means that we can modify, like when we require the text again, we will visible here. We set that visible is gone. Means it will be hide. Then when again we require, so that time we will run that one, we will see that. Right. Now, so here. So here now I have to write one more line. This is also for text we write. So that one TV1 dot. So visibility. So we have to set the visibility. So that is view. So view dot visible. So we set it that view dot visible. Right. Now I'm running this. We can see here the output. So here click good evening. So it is displaying here. But this visible and invisible property total we can use in a three ways. So one is the visible, invisible, and gone. So how that will perform here now we will see. So this is already like it is coming, right? So this is here. So click instead of click, I'm changing this as a visible. Right, first one which is visible. So I'll create two more buttons here, button 2 and button 3. So this one I'm changing as a 2. So for this, the text I'm changing as a invisible. So for the last one, I'm changing the text as gone. So BT3. Now we will apply the two things here. This. So two listeners we have to apply. Again for this, now we have to add var BT2 colon. So that is also button, right? Button. We have to add nullify condition. Then var BT3 colon. So that is the button, right? Nullify condition, right? So we have to declare, means we already declared two, right? Similar, we have to identify those two. BT2 equal to find view by ID. So that is r dot id dot. So what is the ID? That is BT2, right? So next BT3 BT3 equal to find view by ID. So that is r dot id dot BT3. Right. So we have identified both. Okay, so that just now we added it. Resources not refreshed. I think so that is error. No problem. Now we'll apply again the same listener. So that is button dot set on click listener. So I'm applying the on click listener here. Now that button we already applied. This is the BT2, right? BT2 set on click listener. In this, for the text view, we have to set. So that is a visibility. So view dot invisible. Second button we are using that is for invisible, right? Then BT3 dot set on click listener. So that is the EV1 dot visibility equal to. So that is view dot gone. So this one has gone, right? In these three ways, we will use the visible and invisible property. That is very important. And many places we will use this. Why? Because, for example, I'm creating one job application. So there are certain conditions. So let us say one condition. So when I selected my gender, like if my gender is the male, I have to enable some conditions. If it is the female, I have to enable some different conditions. Or I selected physically handicapped. So I have to select some different options. So like that kind of things, visible, invisible can use. So here now see, visible. So initially the space also not there, but when I click this, it move little bit down. I'm clicking invisible. So what happens? Invisible means only the content will hide, but space remains the same. But again, if I click the gone, so it went up because the space also will hide. So gone, visible, invisible. So this property we will use normally in such scenarios, we will use that. Right. So this is about the visible and invisible property here. But now, as I already told yesterday, whatever the code here I have written, so this is the very like nominal code, that is normal code. It does not have any proper thing, right? Just I already told that it is a very starting level people will write like this. But as an industry standard, we have to write this code by using the concept called data binding. So if we use the data binding, so we will reduce the code as well as we remove the some kind of exceptionals, like for example, so BT1, BT2, we are finding this, right? So maybe that BT1 is not present in first XML, but that should be available in second XML also. Here it can't show any error. But while running, application will crash. So means it will be when we use the data binding, XML and activity both will be tightly coupled. So both will be tightly coupled, right? So that is the reason. Now we are going to that. So to implement the data binding, first change we have to do in XML. So on a top, we have to add one more thing that is called as a layout. So we have to add layout here. We have to layout here. So this is the layout. So whatever the parent will be there, either it is relative, linear, whatever it is there, on top of that, you have to add a layout. Then after, in a project, so in a project, there is a one option called Gradle. So just open the Gradle scripts. Within a Gradle script, there is a module app. So click on the module app, open here module app. So in this, now there is option called Kotlin options. Right after the Kotlin options, so you have to enable here. So that is the data. You have to add one line. So that is data binding enable equal to true. So this is the line you have to add here. So that is data binding enable equal to true. So this you have to add here this, right? Data binding enable equal to true. Then here click on sync now, means whatever the data binding related necessary files that can be added into your environment. Means everyone may not use that. So means whatever we are using, so those only we are syncing into the project, so that project weight should be less, right? So that is done. Now see this, you can remember in a Gradle script module app. So both all should be shown like same. See, build Gradle KTS like this similar. But in this you have to choose app, not a project. App level you have to choose. Then you have to add here one line, that is the data binding enable equal to true. Then come back to the main activity. Here now we will reduce almost like 6 to 7 lines, at least 6 to 7 lines of code we will reduce here. But how we will see here? For that, now here first I'm adding the binding. So where binding. So where binding, just I'm declaring the binding. Here you have to call the binding. So always the binding will be generate on the name of XML. So what is our XML name? So that is activity main. So activity main followed by the binding word, it will generate, means class name like XML name followed by this, it will generate here this, right? Then now here I have to add, that is binding equal to. So that is the data binding util. So data binding util dot. So data binding util. So you have to write here. So for your reference, I'll keep that line. So this is the default line right here. We have to add that binding equal to. So that is the data binding. So data binding util dot set content view, whatever the default line has came, right? So that we have to add here. This, see, this is the one we have to add as it is here. So set content view. Within a this here, now we have to add one more this. So then it will directly, instead of that, so with the data binding, we map out this with the data binding, means tightly coupled. So XML to this, we map out this. Then no need of these declarations, right? I'm commenting these declarations. So I commented all the declarations. Similar, no need of identification, right? Then so here how it will reduce here. So even though this, I'll copy these lines. This also I'll comment here. Means how much you will reduce. See, instead of this, now what I'll do here, binding dot. What happens now? Only the ID is available which are presented in the mapped XML. So other we cannot get here this. So like this. Then here where TV1. So here binding dot. So what is ID in XML? That ID directly we are referring here this TV1. So here also similar binding dot TV1. So visibility. Right. So similar we'll write for these also. Just I comment this also, so that you can understand easily like what is the difference between normal and data binding, right? So here binding dot bt2 dot set on click listener, sorry, Set on click listener. So here binding dot tv1 dot visibility equal to in view dot. So view dot invisible. Done. Similar way here now that binding dot bt3 dot set on click listener. So that is binding dot tv1 dot visibility. So that is view dot gone. Done. So now I'm running. We will see like output remains same here. Now we will see that. See, just I'm running this now. See here now I'm clicking on this. Visible it is working. Invisible it is working. Gone it is working. Right, all are working. So now from now all the code I'll write in this format only, in data binding format only I'll write this. Hope till it
Sir,
is.
what is the difference between invisible and gone?
Yeah, invisible is nothing but only the content will hide, space remains same. See here, I'm clicking invisible, only good evening hide, but space remains same. If I click this, see it is moving up, right?
Yes,
You're
yes,
feeling right?
got it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this will be here like this, right? Now, data binding wise also it is clear, right? So then next we will go with the next component. So now the next component is like when we are creating the things, so there are many different components we will use. So that now I want to use checkbox where user has a multi selection. Let us say known languages. When I have to select known language, so there obviously I can select the multi things. So that we have to use here this. So for that now I'm taking here checkbox. So this is the checkbox. Wrap content height, wrap content width, match parent. So I'll give the text. So that is the checkbox. Checkbox ID for that. So check. Then already I told yesterday, whenever it has the properties like property called text. So whatever we used yesterday, that all we can use, right? Margin 5 dp, padding 5 dp, then text color. So we can define something color. So text size, we can define something text size. Then text style. So today I want to give that bold. So then next text all caps, true. So even here also you can give the gravity property, but I not given that. So that also you can give that. Right. Now this I'm running without adding anything from the Kotlin. Like I'm not adding anything on the Kotlin, but just I'm running here. See what happens here now. check selection, deselection. So selection and deselection is working, but we have to handle something, right? When it is the selection, I have to display something. When it is deselection, I have to add some, right? So that if you want that, you have to add the listener here. So in case if I go with the normal process, what I have to do again, I have to declare checkbox, I have to identify checkbox, then I have to write the action here, right? But here now, simple, like that is some binding dot. So check. So this is ID given there. Dot set. So for this, we cannot use the on click listener. For this, we will use the listener called on check change listener. So this is the listener here we are using for this. So that is the unchecked change listener. Means this is the checkbox is compound button. Compound button is nothing but which is the which component has two states, that we called as a compound button, because here it has checked state as well as the unchecked state, right? That is the reason. So now here I have to write the condition. If I'm writing if else loop here, if is checked, so that is the condition here we have to write is checked. So this is the button. So it is the check is checked, right? Why it is not coming here? Just a minute. So here it has some return type as well, but why it is not showing? Just a minute. So listener, why it is not coming here? Automatically it should come here. So in case it won't come here, we have to add that return type of that. So here this has a return type is checked. Checked. Why it is not coming? So it not key here also it is not there, but it is not showing error here. But in recent versions, the latest version, it is showing error. Yeah. Even in last patch also I got this issue. I did something here. Just a minute. Just will copy paste this one. So this is the one of the tool I'll use whenever I stuck somewhere. Easiest way that I think you people has idea about this chat GPT. So like this is the one of the tool I use. So just I can copy paste. I think I have reached maximum. So here I'll use something. So here I'll paste that. Yeah, so this is the one we have to use. So that is binding dot check dot on. Yeah, so now here button view. This normally it should be auto generated, but only in this studio version. I think in this studio version we got an issue last time also. I got because of some other projects dependency said, that's why I not updated my Android Studio. So that no problem. For your case, this code will be auto generated here. This one it will come. So here I'm using based on the each checked equal to true. In case if it is a each checked equal to true, I have to handle one condition. So else I have to add another condition. So for that, here now for the button text view 2 is there, right? For that, I'm setting the text. So that is the TV2 dot text. So I'm setting the some text. What is the text I'll set first? So this is the first one, which is here checked, right? I'll put the checked. Then second here, else it goes to the next loop. So that is here. I'll display as unchecked like this, right? Now I'm running. We will see here now. See here now. Checked, unchecked means whatever we have written. So that is working here. This. So this is the normal like checkbox. So normally like I used here one checkbox, but in our case like there are multiple checkboxes will be there. So when I clicked on that, you have to send which checkbox ID user has selected. So that ID you have to send to this backend side. So that you have to write. But here in this now, see here like when I is check true, I have written like this. It is giving some warning here. See this line means warning here. Now it is saying that simplify Boolean expression means even though if I remove this equal to true, even if I remove that also, that will be treated as a true. Defaultly that will be treated as a true. See now that output remains same. See output remains same, right? Like similar, there are two more components are there. So those two more components also we will concentrate today because the almost listener wise same, but XML will vary little bit. That listener almost same condition we will apply. So that we will see. That is one is the switch. Switch. So match parent wrap content text. So that I'll give switch ID. So ID here, and now I cannot give the switch because predefined words, predefined methods, class names, keywords, which we cannot give as a ID. So that is the reason just I'm giving ID as a S1, switch one. So this is also having the text. So margin 5 dp, padding 5 dp, then text all caps true, text style here I'll give normal, text size 20 sp, then text color something random color. So I have given like these all the properties, right? Even this is also it will work same as like a checkbox without writing any code. In a Kotlin, it will work here. We will see. Like this. So for this also we'll apply the listener here. So here binding dot So ID we given as a S1, right? S1 dot set unchecked change listener. So for this also we will apply this unchecked change listener. So that is like same button view is checked. We have to write for this also. Right. Even here also I'll copy paste this right here TV2. Here I'll put that S on, S off. Switch on, switch off. Switch on, switch off. Right. Now I'm running this. Sorry. So I'm running this. So here now, switch on, switch off. Right. So both are working here like this. Right. Now it is done. Then similar to this, there is one more is there that we call as a toggle. But nowadays, mostly we are not using that. Toggle only will replace by this switch, match parent, wrap content, ID. So for this, we cannot give any text properties because it does not have the text. So what we have to give the properties then? So I can give that margin 5 dp, padding 5d. So this two I can keep this. Right. So then it will be here like this, right? Now I'm running this. So it is also on off working. So similar here now, I'll come and I'll add here. So just I'll copy paste this. So instead of this, I'll add here toggle. So here T on, T off. Right, I'm running this. See here, T on, T off. Right. So this is the similar like whatever we have seen this. So today we seen that first like that is the data binding. So we first we seen visible invisible property, right? So then data binding. Then after that we discussed about the this component, three similar component. So that we have discussed here, right? So now I'll give some certain tasks. So that is the like text view, right? Text view button. Another component we discussed about the checkbox. So this based on 5 components, I'll give that checkbox, toggle, and finally it is the switch. So first task here, you can take in a single page all these components. But when I click the checkbox, switch should display. Right, when I click that button, so switch should display. When I click the switch, toggle should display. Means checkbox is on, means checkbox is checked. It should display the switch. When switch is displayed, when switch is on, then a toggle will display. So toggle will display like again reverse. When I turn off the first toggle, it gone here, then that is like similar, it will gone like so similar. That first task, that is right. Clear the first task.
So can you repeat so that I can write?
Yeah. So when that so you will take three components in a UI: checkbox,
Okay.
switch, and toggle. So when I click the checkbox, switch will display. When I click that switch, toggle will display. Again, when I click the switch, toggle will hide. When I click the checkbox, that switch will hide. Right?
When we click on the checkbox, then switch will be on, right?
Yes.
And
When we click on the switch, toggle will on.
okay.
Again, reverse. Like when I switch, when I click again on the switch, toggle will hide. Again, when I click that checkbox, switch will hide. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then next. So take one, two, three buttons. Take three buttons in a UI, like in a UI. First button, when I click the first button, first 50% of the my background screen should be green color.
Okay.
So when you click the second button, from the 50% to 70% of the screen will be in yellow color. When I click the third button, remaining space should be in a blue color. Something, three different colors.
Okay, sir.
So that is the second one. Also, like now when we selecting this, now it is coming defaultly without check, without on, right? With this is off. So while coming this, I want default check this. Default check, default on, default on. That is a third task. Okay.
Third one, can you repeat, sir?
So when I'm selecting here now, just I drag and like I checked that checkbox, right? It is coming with a without checking, without tick, right?
Yes, sir.
So defaultly while running, it should come with a tick mark.
By default,
Yeah, by
right?
default, it should come with a tick mark. This is on, this is
Okay.
on. Okay. So enough, or you want some more tasks?
No, sir, we will try this all, then we will.
Yeah. So that you three can write. So then we'll see tomorrow. We'll see the next next component like radio button. Other components we will see like similar this. Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt in the relative layout.
Yeah.
Can we, yeah. Can you share my screen?
Yeah, you can share. Like I think it has 1 minute less 1 minute. Yeah, if possible, you can share now. If it is over, we'll join rejoin again.
Yeah, sir. I have created for the linear layout. This is working,
Mm-hmm.
but view is in the last line. See, sir, actual view is like this only,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a distance is more in my UI, and
Yeah.
okay,
You're asking about zero and equal.
and yes, sir. So distance is more means margin I have